Strength test of a pipe. The inventor sits inside. Canada, 1920. A rare photograph of the cruel tyrant George Harry Galt, a British colonial officer who arrived in Ibanda in 1905. Sometime later, one of the weary Ugandans named Rutaraka would kill him. Messengers run out of the White House. The war has begun. USA, December 7th, 1941. Cedar Log Lumberyard in Seattle, 1939. In some U.S. cities, a law from the 19th century on deformities remained in effect until the 1970s. Maimed, deformed, sick, and other people whose appearance caused disgust were prohibited from appearing in public under threat of a fine. Defensive move by a soldier during the Mexican Civil War, 1913. The world's largest monument to Stalin was unveiled in Prague, Poland in 1955. It was nicknamed the Line for Meat by the people. Women cooking in a half-destroyed oven. Belarus, World War II, 1942. In the 1930s, the Soviet Union attempted to create a human-chimpanzee hybrid through insemination. The experiments were unsuccessful and were discontinued. American Red Cross collects donations using a vacuum cleaner, New York, World War I. An Egyptian column destroyed by Israeli aviation during the Six-Day War. At the end of the war, Israel gained control of territory 3.5 times larger than its pre-war area, 1967. Luftwaffe pilots at the ritual of welcoming new pilots into their ranks, 1942. The meaning of the ritual was to burn away their fear. Two childhood friends meet on opposite sides of the barricades. Saint-Brioche, France, 1972. With nylon stockings scarce, women would paint their legs so it looked like stockings, 1940s. Children playing among weapons in the ruins of Nazi Germany, spring 1945. Workers clear snow from the railroad tracks, Alaska, 1904. Panic swept the crowd during Liverpool's match against Nottingham in 1989. 96 people died and 766 were injured. To this day, it remains the worst disaster in football history. The kidnapped South Korean actress Choi Yoon-hee is greeted by her new abductor, Kim Jong-il, North Korea, 1978. Men show off a shared dual mustache. Albert Einstein with his mistress, Margarita Konenkova, a Soviet intelligence agent, USA, 1940s. Vesna Vulovic, a Serbian flight attendant who survived the highest free fall without a parachute from 33,000 feet in 1972. Joe Reed's Guinness World Record jump, 1998. The stuntman jumped between buildings on a motorcycle with a 250 cubic inch engine. The distance between the buildings was 65 feet. Reed jumped to a height of 116 feet. The Dyatlov Pass tourist group before their mysterious disappearance, 1959. A Parisian after visiting a bar, 1954. Beatles records burned in Waycross, Georgia, 1966. Queen Elizabeth II visiting the British Army with the L-85 rifle. The execution of counter-revolutionaries. Before the shooting, a sign listing their crimes was hung around their necks. China, 1968. Black children at the fence of a whites-only playground. Alabama, 1956. Soviet T-3485 tanks lining up before the Battle of Berlin, 1945. A convenient mobile street confessional in Częstochowa, Poland, 1964. An Iranian woman being buried up to her waist in the ground before being stoned to death for adultery, 1954. Pacific Islanders examine an F-4U Corsair aircraft. At first, they mistook the soldiers for deities, 1943. 80-year-old Tom called the last cannibal of Fiji in 1905. Photographed after cannibalism had officially ended on the islands. British nuclear test, Orange Herald, 1957. Paris, France, 1943. Amidst the height of World War II, a researcher at the Museum of Natural History examines an ancient Peruvian mummy, proving that science endures, even during the occupation. A Japanese soldier who continued to wage guerrilla warfare for 28 years because he did not know World War II had ended. Japan, 1974. The head of the Labor Protection and Safety Service acts as a model during a firefighting training course for McGuire Hospital employees. USA, 1965. A 6-person bicycle racing against a train. In 1896, man often tried to compete with the dawning era of machines. In ancient Egypt, to mourn the death of a cat, the owner shaved his eyebrows. Fresno college students attempting to set a new world record for the most people on one bed, 73 people, 1961. Alternative method of restraining patients in early 20th century psychiatry. A woman miraculously survived the attack of the Twin Towers on September 11th. After World War I, Britain faced a shortage of horses, and an elephant named Lizzie helped farmers plow fields and pull carts. 1919. Martin Cooper from Motorola made the world's first mobile call. He called Joel S. Engel, a competitor from Bell Labs, 1973. The DeLorean DMC-12 and the filming crew of the movie Back to the Future, USA, 1985. The 2,000-yard stare, Vietnam, 1966. Pilot Victor Vizcarra evacuated from a jungle landing site after parachuting and witnessing his plane crash into a mountain. Loading the first hard drive onto a Pan American plane, 1965. It weighed about 2,000 pounds and held only 5 megabytes. Today's phone replaces thousands of those drives. The world map used by Christopher Columbus in 1492. Hitler with the Jewish girl, Bernelli Nienau, whom he befriended in 1933. Later, when Hitler learned of her Jewish heritage, their relationship ended. To prevent forest fires, Canadians decided not to rely on a simple warning sign. Instead, they placed a gallows with a cigarette hanging from it in the park. The sign reads, "Anyone who throws a cigarette here will also be hanged." Jane Mansfield poses with the winner of the Miss Hollywood contest, 1957. Robin Williams offers a roll of toilet paper to the Thinker, 1990s. The oldest virgin, Clara Meadmore, was 108 years old. Born in Glasgow in 1903, Clara died in 2012 and believed that her chastity was a major reason for her phenomenal longevity. The shadow of a person left after the atomic bomb blast in Hiroshima, Group photo of Japanese kamikaze pilots before an attack on the central base of the U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor, 1944. During Prohibition, the Chicago police dumped tons of corn whiskey after raiding an illegal distillery. Children play with bundles of money during hyperinflation. Germany, 1922. Photos of Judy Dull taken by serial killer Harvey Glattman, who enjoyed tying up his victims and then pretending to be a photographer. A photo of the seemingly kind family man Heinrich Himmler with his family from his photo album, but he was a Nazi, 1936. A Jewish family from Germany is deported from London for invalid papers, 1939. The inscription on the reverse side reads, "Sent to Hamburg." Incidentally, 4 years later, that city would be destroyed by British bombing. Maggie de la Riva identifies the sons of famous and wealthy men who, feeling unpunishable due to their status, kidnapped and raped her 5 days earlier. One of the last photos of passengers boarding the American Airlines flight on September 11th, the plane that later crashed into the Pentagon as a result of hijacking. Sad clown. Emmett Kelly tries to help extinguish the Hartford Circus fire. By the time the fire was out, 167 people had died. Bulgarian peasants using an elephant for fieldwork, 1900. A destitute family during the Great Depression living in a landfill, Illinois, 1939. The arsenal discovered in Bonnie and Clyde's car after their death, 1934. Russian peasants are introduced to electricity, 1920. The photo shows the corpse of Anna Maria von Stockhausen. After her death, she was tied up to prevent her from escaping the grave. According to folklore, Stockhausen was a witch who resurrected herself 5 times. Meet Frederick Grant Banting, the scientist who synthesized insulin, giving millions of diabetics a chance for survival. Lee Harvey Oswald, the assassin of John F. Kennedy before his death, 1963, USA. Prisoners of the Flossenburg death camp after being liberated by the 97th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army, May 1945. Hindu Mahant Amar Bhartiji has kept his right arm raised since 1973. He has followers who worship him and replicate his feat. Sophia Loren in her natural beauty, around 1955. American helicopter pushed into the sea to make room for more refugees during Operation Frequent Wind in Saigon, 1975. The first Harley-Davidson motorcycle, made in 1903, had a carburetor made from a tomato can. Japanese soldiers await an approaching Chinese tank, Shanghai, 1937. In the 19th-20th centuries, claustrophobia, a pathological fear of Santa Claus, was quite widespread. A mother reunites with her daughter after 7 months of service in Iraq. World War II veteran playing guitar to survive, Japan, 1951. Teeth-sharpening ritual of Indonesian tribes, 1938. Symbol of maturity and beauty. Mysterious and controversial photo of the ape man found in the Amazon, 1937. A dancer. Behind her, an atomic explosion. Nevada, 1950. In the 1950s, New York had tunnel police. In a Japanese village in 1901, girls raised and looked after the younger children in the family so that the parents could work and feed everyone. As long as we have beer and tobacco, we are not afraid of the enemy's scum. We will endure. German postcard from World War I, 1916. The 1986 conflict between Chad and Libya is known as the Toyota War. Chad's troops were outgunned but won because France sent them 400 Toyota pickups mounted with machine guns and anti-tank missiles. Jewish refugees aboard the ocean liner St. Louis returning to Europe after being denied entry to Cuba, the USA, and Canada, 1939. Before releasing a new batch of cigarettes, the manufacturer must ensure they don't kill too quickly. They test cigarettes on those who have no legal rights. As a rule, this leads to an agonizing death. Refugees flee from North Korea to the south on a train as communist troops advance from the north, 1950. In 1922, the entrance to Tutankhamun's tomb was cleared. Excavations revealed the mummy of the Egyptian pharaoh who died around 1327 BC. French resistance members parade women through the streets of Cherbourg for having relations with Germans during the occupation, World War II. Russian soldiers without insignia with machine guns near the building of the Supreme Council of the Autonomous Republic of Crimea, March 1, 2014. This case shocked France. In 1876, Blanche Monnier from Poitiers fell in love with a poor lawyer, but her mother opposed the marriage. After an argument, the girl disappeared. No one suspected that she was locked in an attic for 25 years by her mother. When the police arrived after a neighbor's report, Blanche weighed only 55 pounds. Women cannibals, USSR, 1920s. German Emperor Wilhelm II visits Africans at the Hamburg Zoo, 1909. Between the start of the war and August 1941, Hitler exterminated about 100,000 Germans with mental and physical disabilities. The man behind the blocks, Alexei Pajitnov, the inventor of the legendary game Tetris. German children destroying Nazi literature and swastikas in Cologne, 1945. Before Google Maps, there was a navigation helpline, 1963. The swastika on the headquarters of the Russian Fascist Party, Manchuria, 1934. Whether this clip sparked joy, anger, or just a bit of annoyance, I want to hear your thoughts below. Stick around for part 2 coming soon. Please hit like and subscribe to support the channel. See you!